If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your faded words I will choke.
Happy hump day. Happy last day of the off season. It is August the 31st, 2022. This is the AM Drive on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. For Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvel saying, what's going on, Aaron? Are you ready for football?
I am. I know we got a little taste of it last weekend, but I'm ready for the big shebang coming up
week
here.
zero doesn't count.
It doesn't count, but it still gets, you get to dip our toes in the water, so.
That's right. Enough preseason injuries. I'm talking to you, Steelers. It's time to roll. On today's show, we're going to talk about John Gruden, John Wall, who really came out with a bombshell of a story. We're going to have championship picks for college football, NFL win totals of the next 5 teams, and on returning segment, we're going to talk some hockey in the final segment. Okay. We are presented by our website. It's up there. It's down here. It's everywhere you are if you want our stuff, okay? You've got the awesome shop with hoodies, mugs. Where's your tumblers, bro? Where's your black mug?
Black mug is not currently next to me. But I got a tumbler, and it's filled, and it's cold, and it's delicious, and
Ooh! There's something else I have to plug right here, too. It's our shop and
our YouTube channel.
That's right. I don't know why this drew blank on that. AM, maybe because I haven't been on it. AM Drive with Mike and Aaron, the best segments in one place. And speaking of segments, let's get into segment 1. That was smooth. Wow. John Gruden apparently wants back in the NFL. To that, I say nice try, pal. After what you said, I know we are a forgiving country, supposedly. But, Aaron, I think my guess here is that John Gruden thinks that this has finally died down. And I have a news flash for John Gruden. Unfortunately, we live in a society where you've been canceled. This is one of those things you can't really live down. Like before, you could wait a few years and maybe you could just switch things under the rug. As bad as your exit was, they're not going to forgive you. I'm sure the NFL would. I mean, they forgive Deshaun Watson, they forgive Big Ben, they forgive Ray Lewis. I understand that. But this right here is the political side of things. You don't want to be on that side. Aaron, I don't think he's going to get back in.
So, yeah, this is a 2-part kind of situation here. I agree with you. I don't think that John Gruden will be a coach in the NFL anymore during his life. However, you are correct. You kind of talked about it, hit it on the head. Like, regardless of what your beliefs are, and honestly, with Deshaun Watson, it's still innocent until proven guilty. But we've got guys who, have done things in the league that are still in the league. That people don't agree with. But, now we've, got an email situation from years ago. I mean, we're talking almost a decade ago. It is a little bit weird how of 650,000 emails that the NFL accumulated during this Washington, at the time football team investigation, somehow John Gruden's were the only ones that were leaked. I mean, he is literally the scapegoat for this entire Washington football investigation. And I think it's disgusting, but you can't leave a paper trail in today's society. And look, I don't condone what he said by any means. Like, let's get past this. Sticks and stones. He said words that are probably pretty ridiculous. I don't even remember what the words were. Like, no one's going to remember what. I know they were anti-gay, homophobic,
racist, misogynistic. I love that word that no one knows what it means, but yeah, go ahead.
misogynistic. It's like toxic masculinity is what it is. That's the new buzzword.
They like that
toxic.
word though.
They like the toxic masculinity word. But I don't know if he necessarily thinks that it's blown over. I think that he appeared at a function or a benefit, whatever it is. And of course, when you're talking to John Gruden in today's day and age, people are going to want to, kind of see how you feel. And yes, he probably used it as a platform, knowing that this would become super public. I mean, let's be honest. If we were, 15, 20 years ago and the Little Rock Touchdown Club is hosting a benefit and John Gruden's there, we're probably not going to hear about it. We're probably not going to care. But in today's world, everything is a story. So, I can understand him kind of coming hat in hand and obviously apologizing. And I'm not 100% sure I understand in today's day and age I'm a good person, I go to church. Like, sorry, man. I'm not against anyone that goes to church, but I've also encountered people in my life that say those same words, and they're
hypocrites.
Generally not the nicest people I've encountered. Like I have no problem with people who go to church. I have no problem with people who don't go to church. But yeah, I just that one's always kind of a buzz. Like, people, I go to church. Well, that doesn't necessarily make you a saint, my friend. And yes, of course, we've all had transgressions. We've all made mistakes. I know he said that too. But I don't think he's getting another shot simply because, I mean, again, I don't even remember what the specific words he said in his emails. But I think it's not too late to apologize, but I think he's done being around the NFL. Maybe he'll find, a low tier college football program that calls him back. And if he wins and is successful, you can never rule anything out. I mean,
that's a good point. I was thinking like Fox would pick him up.
Fox may pick him up. I don't know. The thing is like a little bit of his shtick is outdated.
Oh, QB camp. Come on, we're going to bring him back.
Maybe.
I don't see
it. Like, I
like your route. I didn't think about the lower college thing. Like maybe coaching like South Dakota State, like deep throw North Dakota State.
Yeah, coach at an FCS school, see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's a big recruiter, but see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he becomes an XFL coach. That could be interesting.
That'd be cool because that's like the ultimate kick in the butt. But then the NFL's part of that too. Oh well, we'll figure it out.
Not my life.
Right. Aaron, John Wall dropped quite the shell of casings here when he
Well, that's not a good way to say it.
Bombshell. You get it.
I'm just saying what you're about to talk about.
I know. John Wall considered suicide while recovering from his injury. And, of course, that was partly during the pandemic as well. Now, John Wall, even when he was at Houston, he just wasn't all the way there, like you could tell. And now he's going to the Clippers. But what John Wall has unveiled is, and I've heard like people talk about depression before, never like this. Can you imagine the news story? What it would be if John Wall was found dead in his apartment somewhere? Like that could have been a news story from what John Wall said. And yet he's open about it. And I thought that was awesome because, and I'm not into the whole athletes say it, so it means I'm not going to do it. No, it still matters. But when a person like him admits that he has a problem, maybe other people will admit they have a problem. Because I believe some medicine, it may take a few medicines to get to the right point, but I've found that medicine has probably saved my life too. I really like that John Wall came out about this because I've never heard it so dark before. I've heard depression, but I've never heard it like, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, wow. Well, now you put it that way, a little bit more something to that. What are your thoughts on this?
So, yeah, this is always a touchy subject in suicide and mental health. And it to me, it really just kind of points to a strange, loophole, not a loophole, but like a wormhole in our society. Like, do we not think with the invention of social media and the digital age, like, and maybe this is because everybody has a voice and you get to hear everybody, and we're in 24-hour news cycles, but how many people who one you would believe have great lives, they have got all more money than they can think of, that they know what to do with, they have all these situations, but we have so many people on all different levels and in the amounts of money that they, net worths, and that are going through just serious problems. Like,
Yep.
and we talk about a guy like John Wall and what he's done, and then you look at the flip side of it, and you talk about guys like Ben Simmons and Calvin Ridley and how they kind of made a mockery of this, so to
Yep.
speak. Maybe we'll see. Maybe Ben Simmons comes out and says similar things. I don't know, but it's just how, like, people have harped on John Wall for missing time and being injured, and a lot of people underestimate what the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, like just the lockdowns and the way that places were restricted, how that affected people's
Especially for
mental health.
athletes.
Yeah, I mean, just especially for everybody. I mean, the amount of people committing suicide was actually like rivaling the amount of people dying from COVID. Like, people were just going nuts, and we're still in kind of a semi-COVID society where, like, a lot of places, a lot of companies can just shut down components of their business and just, oh, it's COVID, or the thing I hear the most in today's world that drives me, oh, the supply chain. Why can something be constructed so easily and in mass production, like Amazon, or like things for Walmart,
Or
you know
McDonald's open 24/7 and now it's not. That's a big one for me.
well, it's just the corporations have still found a way to just be able to fire on all cylinders, and
Right.
the mom and pop shops can't get supplies because, oh, the supply chain. Anyways, getting back to John Wall, because I don't really have a lot of I don't know what to say with regards to this stuff. Like, when someone's like, I'm considering suicide, like, yeah, it's really bad, but like, you gotta hope that now with being on a new team in a new environment in LA with some of the guys, and yes, LeBron's not on his same team, but he's in the same area. I know he's reached out to John Wall. It sounds like things are on the uptick, and it's a good spot for him to come out and say things like this. I don't know how to really, we
That's
can
not
all talk.
same.
We can all talk about mental health till we're blue in the face, but then we all go back to social media and put each other down every day, and
Yep.
it's like, nobody ever really, this is like a vicious cycle. Nobody ever really, the word awareness doesn't mean anything if you're not actually trying to just not be a complete piece of crap.
That's a great
not
point.
not
Yeah.
not John Wall. I'm saying other people, like
Oh no,
this
don't talk about it, be about it. You're right.
this
Like, it's
digital
one thing,
age of.
like
Go ahead.
you're good. Our sports media people going out there and saying, "Oh, this is a great thing," blah blah, and then not caring after work.
Yeah, I
That's a
mean,
good point.
people are who they are. I mean, zebras don't change their stripes. It's an
Mm.
expression for a reason. I get it, but like, but at the same time, I mean, some of the most highly rated shows, Skip and Shannon and First Take, are just people putting down people and yelling at each other. Like, this is what we glorify. So, I
You
mean,
don't
it's like,
see.
what world do we live in that we say, oh, we want to be better people, but we just feast on like reality shows and Kardashians and
They're their own genre.
shows of like of deception and misleading,
Right.
I don't know. I've never watched Survivor, but I feel like it's like Big Brother. I know is a sketchy show, like,
Wow.
in terms of people like being sketchy to one another. I'm just saying, like, this is the world, the drama. That's the word, the all encompassing word, the drama. Everybody, I don't want drama, but I see people just bring it into their life. Like, and people ask me, like, how come you don't hang out, like this? I was like, dude, I don't need all that in my life. I really don't. So and look, I've during the pandemic, I've had some bouts with mental health. I don't know if I've ever gotten this far as John Wall has, but I get on a surface level of feeling bad for yourself, not having
Right.
the energy or emotion to do things, and not feeling like feeling like the things that you used to enjoy doing just no longer matter. I felt things like that before. So I can empathize with John Wall, but it's just not a discussion I feel very good about or very good having. Like I feel like I would never say the right thing.
It's okay. And when you're 35, your body starts breaking down. You don't like you need a cane. You need more blood pressure pills.
Yes, but I don't need blood pressure pills. But
I know.
to be fair, this 35-year-old wakes up for the show and doesn't oversleep.
That's a dang good point, man.
Shots fired. Mic drops.
Get it, Mike? That's pretty good. All right, when we come back, it's win totals for the Panthers, Bears, Texans, Lions, and Bengals. And also, who's going to win the Natty? We'll tell you at least what we think is going to happen. On the other side, we'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
All right, and welcome back here to the AM Drive. It's very simple, guys. We are presented by Fanatics, and with the NCAA and NFL season right around the corner, you want to make sure that all the gear you have is fresh for the upcoming season. And you know how you do that? You go to mikeandaarondrive.com and do what?
Click the F.
Yeah, that's absolutely 100% correct. And when you click that F, it takes you right into Fanatics. You can get every player, every team, every league, autographs, memorabilia, anything you can think of except that Mickey Mantle $12 million card. That one got sold. You can't buy that one unless you got $13 million. But again, NCAA, NFL, hockey's around the corner, NBA's around the corner, MLB is about to get into the playoff chase. So make sure that you get everything that you need to make sure you're the biggest and best fan with $24 or free shipping on any order over $24 as well. So we all hate that pesky shipping. I would rather pay more for a piece of clothing than have to pay shipping. So get your free shipping today with orders over $24 or more at Fanatics by way of mikeandaarondrive.com.
And for that?
Okay. All right. And when we always mess it up. I listen. For that. All right. When you shop at Fanatics, it helps out the show tremendously. And for that, nailed it. We thank you.
I actually went like 10 seconds ahead of you on that one. That's insane.
Seriously, are we that delayed to each other?
It was like a good 3 seconds, and I thought I was going to catch you napping over there. That was pretty funny. Hey, in another edition of Sports Are Not Real, August 29th, 2001, Serena Williams wins at U.S. Open. Albert Pujols hits a home run. And so does Vladimir Sr., Craig Big G Gigo, and Dante Bichette all recorded hits. August 29th, 2022, Serena Williams wins at the U.S. Open. April Pujols hits a home run. Vlad Guerrero Jr., Kevon Biggio, I hate that name, and Bo Bichette all recorded hits. Sports are not real.
Isn't that crazy? Albert Pujols and Serena Williams are winning and still
sons and daughters.
Still in their respective field. And those three guys, Hall of Famer Vlad Guerrero, first of all, those three guys' sons are still are getting hits on the same thing. It just goes to show you like how crazy sports is. Like staying at the top of your field for the long time like that. It's just, staying at the top of your field like that. It's absolutely insane.
Did you see LeBron James' new Sports Illustrated cover? The Chosen Sons.
I did hear a rumor that he's going to try to play with both of them.
Yes, go!
Bryce is what, 16, 15 or 16?
He's also like 6'8", yeah.
Right, so you got to figure that's 3 more years.
He'll be 43. Tom Brady did it. Why not LeBron? If LeBron can do it while averaging 25 or averaging 20 for that matter, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, if Udonis Haslam can still find teams, God, LeBron James can find a team.
Well, that's just another story from another day. I have no disrespect, but I also have no respect for that either at the same time. Okay. It's time to place your bets with the NFL win totals. Yesterday we did Browns, Bills, Rams, Falcons, Ravens. Today we're going to start with the Panthers, who are at 6.5. Aaron, go first.
All right, Panthers 6.5, Baker Mayfield. This was a team I talked about kind of being a surprise, and obviously 100% this is reliant on injuries or lack thereof, so to speak. But I took the over in the Panthers with this one. I think that it's a sneaky division. They won 5 games last year. Obviously, they started out of the gate 3-0. We know about that. McCaffrey went down. They struggled. They went 2-12 to finish the season. I'm not the highest on Baker. I'm not as low on Baker as Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold probably too, but Sammy Action, I'm not as low as he is on Baker Mayfield. Can they win ball games with Baker being above average and Christian McCaffrey staying healthy? Absolutely. I found 5 wins that I thought they could get on this schedule. A couple of NFC South battles I thought they can obviously get. They play the Bucs tough always. Again, the Bucs I had to take with a grain of salt this year on some of these games. But yeah, I actually, I think if they can get a 50-50 couple of ways, I found 5 or 6 wins. So usually when I find right under the number, I'll take the over just surely because they're going to find a win that I didn't see. And I think they're going to probably split the season series with all 3 NFC teams and maybe even so I took the over 6.5 on the Panthers.
As Plankton on SpongeBob would say, correct!
Oh, joy.
Oh, yeah, I'm going over 6.5. I think it's attainable. I'm like you. I looked at their schedule. I saw a few NFC South games there. I also saw some nice little wins that they could sneak away with. And I got about 6 or 7 wins, which would put me right about 6.5. I'm good with that. The Chicago Bears. The Bears have Justin Fields, a makeshift offensive line, and David Montgomery. They've gotten rid of Allen Robinson, gotten rid of Khalil Mack. Not that Khalil Mack had done anything the last couple of years. They still have Roquan Smith, who doesn't want to be there. Matt Eberflus, who he stole from us, Colts fans. But it's 6.5 as well. I'm going in Australia under. I barely see 5 wins, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, I see a couple, but like as far as any even head-to-head matchups, like the ones I can see, like I feel like the Bears and the Texans, that's like a 50-50 game. That's not good for you. If I think the Bears and the Texans is a 50-50, like it could go your way. It is at home, but I still think you can lose that. Like it's sad when I think you're going to go on the road against the Giants and I don't think you're going to win. Like, so it's hard for me to find. I found like 4 wins on this team, on this schedule. So again, we always say barring injury, but I found 4 wins on this schedule. So for me, yeah, it's an Australia piece for me, down under, way down under.
Down
I think
under.
I think 4 is the big one. They got 6 last year, and to me, I don't know if they're better. I don't, and the Dolphins are better on their schedule. Even the games that they like, okay, it's 50-50 ball, and they could probably win that game. They're on the road. They're all on the road. Like, they're on the road against the Falcons. They're on the road against the Jets. They obviously have a road game against the Lions, being in the division. They're on the road against the Cowboys, on the road against the Patriots, like on the road against the Giants. Like, and then their home schedule, other than the Texans, the only game I like at home, I think they're probably going to win, and even then, we'll see, is the Commanders. Even then, I don't know if they're necessarily going to beat the Commanders, but being on the road, or excuse me, being at home benefits them.
I barely see.
I think that's a Thursday game too. I think that's a Thursday game.
Ugh. I barely see 5. I think Justin Fields is going to look good. From what I've seen in preseason, he looks like he's going to take a nice little step. But man, that offensive line, dude, he might suffer a few bumps and bruises and a few questionable games. I feel this year.
I can't believe they got 6 last year.
Like
that's
6
wins.
Matt Nagy, that's that legend of a coach he got over there with the Bears.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that team got 6.
Speaking of the Bears, about the Lovie Smith Texans. Aaron, I see 7. Okay, so it's 4.5. I'm going over. I see 7 as a possibility and 5 realistically, and that both gets me over 4.5. Texans, from your calling Davis Mills the second son of God.
What? When did I do that?
To be fair, you have been like one of the biggest supporters because like there are literally no Davis Mills supporters. You've been like average at best.
I'll channel my inner Donald Trump and say he's a very fine quarterback.
Oh Lord, he's a very fine quarterback.
He's a very fine quarterback. If I do, not the best quarterback I've ever seen, but he's a good quarterback. He would do good at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I like Davis Mills. So they cut Marlon Mack because of this rookie from Florida, this 4th-round draft pick, Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
So anybody who picked him in fantasy, a bicycle clappy for you, because it's officially Dameon Pierce season. And also have Brandon Cooks and another receiver, I believe, as well. They picked up. Hey man, and the Texas defense in the preseason, I get it. They looked like they wanted to play. But they're not going to be a pushover. They weren't a pushover last year.
No, I agree with that.
We thought they were going with 17. I did.
Yeah, we thought they were going to go in 17. And they won the first game.
I thought that actually.
Yeah, I don't. This one was tough for me because I think they were 4-13 last year, so they're like right near the number. You would argue that they're better, but this feels just like, for being a second to last place team, they've got a pretty tough schedule outside of their division. And heck, 2 teams in their division, there's no guarantee they're going to beat Tennessee or Indianapolis as well.
Tell them.
50-50 games for me here. Like you said, you have Chicago, but they're on the road. You have New York, but they're on the road. You have Miami, but they're on the road. Like, I want to go over. I really do. I just don't. I don't see the guaranteed wins on this schedule. Like, I like the Texans. I think they're going to be that, maybe like the Lions last year, in every game, just can't seem to get over the hump. Like, there's a stretch in their schedule with New York, Washington, Miami, and Cleveland, which I believe is Deshaun Watson's first game back.
Yeah. Is that what that game is? Wow.
Yeah. So there's a 4-game stretch right there that I think they could literally go 4-0. I really do. But
I think they could beat the Browns in his first game back.
Sure, absolutely. I agree. And then, you look at Chicago, those are the spots where I think they can get wins. And obviously the 2 against Jacksonville. So ultimately I went over, but I don't feel great about it. I did. Ultimately I went over, but I don't feel great about it.
That's okay. We're nauseous over here. That's fine. It's fine to be nauseous in the preseason. Detroit Lions are at 6.5. Aaron, why don't you go first here? Well, these dumpster fire teams, man. 6.5. That's a big number for the Lions.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around that last year as well. It was like 5.5 or 6.
Ugh,
I don't see it.
yuck.
I don't get it. Even if they double their win output of last year, they don't get there. So I'm on the under, basically simply because no, I don't think the Lions can get 7 wins. I don't. I mean, I don't see it. I know they've got, some more weapons. DeAndre Swift, if he can stay healthy, they picked up DJ Chark. Amon-Ra St. Brown has improved. He's ascended all the way to number 1 as the rookie. I think he was a rookie last year. TJ Hawkinson has just never been able to connect with any of his quarterbacks. He's wildly underachieving. So, like I said, even if they double their output and wins, it's still under. So I'm taking the under.
Great point, by the way. I see 5 if they show off and make a name for themselves. And that still doesn't even hit 6. So I'll agree with you on the under there. And Jared Goff does exist as a quarterback. And Aaron, I'm gonna say it right now. Dan Campbell does not impress me, bro. I don't care what about his press conferences. I just don't think he's sorry.
Yeah, I mean, all of that rah-rah stuff is always cool, right, when you're out of the gate. I mean, but you got to win ball games. And, yeah, I mean, it does get old after a while.
Sean McVay has a mind and he's cool.
Well, I mean, that's not a disrespect to Dan Campbell. I mean, obviously, he ascended to one of there's only 32 of these guys in the NFL or in the world. So you have to give credit. But, yeah, you're right. Sustaining power, guys like this just don't have staying power, especially with this franchise.
I think Joe Judge was actually like that when he was first. Like he said, we're going to establish a winning football culture here. And he turned out to be a boring piece of nothing. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, what are they going to say?
I have more regards for Dan Campbell, but I'm just saying.
What are we gonna say? I mean, what is a guy gonna say when they're like, what are your plans for this franchise? He's like, well, we're just gonna continue to go 2-15 every year, and that's the Lions way. No, of course they want to change the culture. Same thing about it's the same thing with every quarterback who gets acquired or drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Like, how many of them? How many did they go through? You want one to be able to change the culture, but
and the one they do get that's good, he's got 24 sexual
11 game suspension. Yeah, but that's the Browns. The Browns had to go get a guy who's going to miss basically the first 2/3 of his first year in Cleveland. So
yeah, not that he's going to be mad about missing Cleveland games, but whatever. The Bengals are at that gross even 10 number. Yesterday we had the Ravens. They were at the 10. I picked the over for this team. Aaron. This is the team that gave me a shaving cream pie to the face. And I was looking at one of my baskets. See, I've got these little baskets, right? And one of them had the shaving cream. I was like, oh, you dirty bastard, you. You dirty bastard, you. Aaron, I could see 9. I could see 10 if I'm dead wrong. This ain't doing nothing but a push or less. I'm sorry, man. Ravens, Bengals. I mean, good Lord. Ravens, Steelers are going to be okay this year, even if they're going to switch out quarterbacks. And who's the other AFC North team? The Browns are still have a good running game. I mean,
they'll still have one game with Deshaun Watson. Maybe we'll see how he comes out of the gate. Yeah,
I think the Bengals are going to fall flat on their face as if they tried to skateboard and didn't know how.
Yeah, I can't find an over here at all. Like, they are just littered with the first place schedule. Look, I think, it's hard to say this as a team that just went to the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously we know the hangover thing is real. I mean, look at every team that lost the Super Bowl in years past. But I mean, other than the Chiefs, you look at every team and it's a real thing. But a lot of these games, the Titans are on the road, the Bucks, it's on the road, the Patriots on the road, Cowboys on the road. I mean, Saints on the road. Like, all the tough games are on the road. They do have, they have the Chiefs and Bills at home, but the only reason I think that they're 50-50 with them is just simply because that'll be right in the midst of a playoff race. Like, I think the Bills might have locked up the AFC East by the time Week 17 rolls around, so that might be a win just sheerly because they're not playing anybody. I don't know, but they won 10 last year, and they shocked everybody. And Baltimore was injured. Pittsburgh was limping in on Ben Roethlisberger.
Yep.
And, I mean, like I said, Cleveland's such a wild card. It's so tough to really figure out what's going on with them. I don't see it. I'm on the under.
Agreed. And like I did this little trick where I was okay. Let's say Joe Burrow's a winning quarterback. Let's say Jamar Chase is the next Randy Moss. I found like 11. I don't feel comfortable with it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, you
about
can't
that.
feel if your ceiling's 11, you can't feel comfortable really like, saying, okay, well, I'm going to bet this 10. Now, the good thing is it is a flat number. So if you do feel like, okay, I can get to 11, maybe 12, you have a push option. Like, it's not like you have to get to 11. If you get to 10 and, you get your money back, no big deal. But don't forget, like, every year we have 14 playoff teams. Like, I think every year, like, don't we turn over like 5 or 6 of them every year? Like 5 or 6 teams that made the playoffs
true.
miss. This is one of the teams I can see that's missing. So
Woo-hoo-hoo!
I'm seeing an 8-9 season for the Bengals.
Yeah, that made my day. Made my whole day, a week, year right there. Okay, let's switch to it. We'll do 5 more teams tomorrow. The college football national championship. Okay, it's gonna happen. I was gonna like make us do 4 teams, but that's so hard to do. So I'm just gonna go with my pick to win it all. It's gonna be. I know the NIL is gonna make things more competitive, hopefully. So it's not just gonna be Alabama. But for now, Nick Saban's still got a little bit of a tight hold. I love me some Bryce Young. They're always going to pop out a receiver or two. Their defense will be no slouch. I do not believe in Stetson Bennett of Georgia. I think Kirby Smart's an idiot for picking him up for another year. I also think the Ohio State Buckeyes are a lot worse against Michigan than I believe that Alabama would be against Georgia this year. I think Michigan still has a chance against Ohio State. I love C.J. Stroud. And I know they always pull out receivers too out of God knows where. But I'm going to go with the Alabama Crimson Tide to win the whole dang thing here. Woohoo! I don't like saying that.
All right. Well, that's fair. I mean, it's funny you should mention that team. I look at, schedules, and Alabama's like the SEC West is always a gauntlet. It just is. I mean, it's such a tough thing to go through, and it's not a disrespect to the SEC East, but the SEC East is not the same. So you're looking at Georgia on a crash course with whoever survives the SEC West, and you have Arkansas who's ranked. You have Auburn who's coming in, strong and going to get stronger. LSU, once they figure out who a quarterback is, we'll see. And then, of course, Texas A&M, who may have bought themselves a ticket to the SEC championship with all this NIL money. That being said, you're kind of right. I feel like Bryce Young should be able to take over the SEC. No problems, no questions asked. Like, this should be Alabama and then everybody else. And it might be. But coming out of the SEC, switching gears to the rest of the country, I know they have a couple of tough matchups. The Big Ten, they have 5 ranked matchups this year. But I do believe on a same par level, C.J. Stroud really took over college football last year, and I think he's poised to do it again this year. And I think that's your Heisman Trophy winner, and I think Ohio State is your national champions. And I don't like to say that either, but
I like it better than Alabama.
I think Ohio State is going to be college football national champions here this year. If it's not UCF, of course.
Listen, you got to throw that one in there. Yank the chain. I dig it.
Why not?
I think USC is going to not come out the gate as strong as people think they will. They're acting like Lincoln Riley is Jesus Christ, and I just don't see it yet. I think Notre Dame's going to stay pretty good. I do believe that.
Well, that's the big matchup here this weekend is Notre Dame and Ohio State. Like, that's a big start to the season.
I'm going to go Ohio State because Notre Dame switching coaches. That's but I could see Notre Dame another year from now beating them.
Yeah, I mean, switching coaches, brand new system. They're running back Kyron Williams last year in the NFL now. He's with the Rams. Like, I don't see it. I know that they're ranked number 5. I don't see them beating Ohio State at home.
Not a fan of Catholics. Sorry.
Okay, that seemed unnecessary, but all right.
Shots fired. All right. We'll be back. When we come back, we're talking hockey. We'll explain next. It's the AM Drive. One more segment. Don't go anywhere. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
All right, and welcome back here to the last segment of the AM Drive, and we are presented by Yahoo Fantasy Sports.
Woo-hoo.
College and pro football is almost underway, and you can play fantasy in both of them. I know, college football, whoops. Of course, they also have fantasy sports for the other stuff that is coming up, basketball, hockey, etc. But it's football time right now, as Lee Corso would say. So make sure that you go to mikeandaarondrive.com, click the Yahoo Fantasy tab, sign up for a league today, or if you want to be a commissioner, create your own league. Absolutely. You got to get on it. Yahoo Fantasy Sports, the #1 fantasy site, known to man, but you can't get there without going to mikeandaarondrive.com first. Get your team today at Yahoo Fantasy by mikeandaarondrive.com and clicking that logo.
And for that, we Yahoo! Okay.
You are a Yahoo.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Mike.
Hola, Senor Aaron.
NHL 23 has Trevor Zegras, avid watcher of the AM Drive,
Verified, yes.
the front cover, and will feature his patented shot. How does it feel knowing that one of our illustriously loyal viewers will be on the cover of NHL 23?
Full disclosure, that is a real thing that Aaron just said, because I have a screenshot. I don't have it on my phone anymore. Aaron probably has it in the messages somewhere, where we talked about the shot one time last year, and we looked at who was watching it, and Trevor Zegras. I was like, Aaron, is this who I think it is? He said yes. So that's a real thing. I think
It was
it's pretty
confirmed.
cool.
Absolutely.
I think the fact they added that shows me there might be some more new mechanics from EA Sports. Yeah, I wouldn't mind copying. I also, full disclosure, did not play NHL 22, but like one time, and then my game froze and I got pissed off. Didn't play it again. But NHL 23, I might have to.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it too. I mean, you're right. Yeah, verified that he did peep the show one time when we talked
That's
about
awesome.
him. And it was pretty cool.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi, Mike.
The Pittsburgh Penguins, I'm going to sound so smart doing this. The Pittsburgh Penguins have extended their winningest coach in franchise history, Mike Sullivan, through who's not a monster, by the way, the 2026-27 season. Is this a good move? Because last time I checked, Glenn Kaplan, The Pittsburgh Penguins have not won anything in quite some time.
I mean, they did go back-to-back like 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago.
A
But yes,
long time ago.
it seems like they just brought the band back together. I know they re-signed Malkin, and obviously Letang and Sidner, there. It's kind of that one last hurrah, but nothing against Mike Sullivan. I mean, he should be there long after, these guys eventually do retire. But yeah, I think it's a great move for Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't know who there would get better. So yeah, I'm all about it. I mean, great signing for Pittsburgh, and good for Mike Sullivan to just that job security is huge in my opinion.
And good for Glenn.
Hey, Mike.
Sup?
On June 5th of this year, Wayne Gretzky's jersey that he wore during his last title with the Oilers sold for $1.45 million.
Ooh.
Is there any jersey or piece of memorabilia, if you had the money, that you would buy if you could afford it? Or when you could afford it, I guess.
And I'm going to throw this back to you after I'm done. There are literally 2 jerseys that I actually could come out with. One of them I've actually seen on the Fanatics website, but it's not obviously an official game worn, but it's also not signed by this guy at the same time. But if there was such a piece in history, the Colts Peyton Manning jersey in the rain against the Bears, Super Bowl 41. If I had, let's say, $1.5 million I just won, yeah, I might spend all that. Another one is actually LeBron James Game 6, the Ray Allen shot, when LeBron James's headband came off for the first time, and he just kept it off, and they came back and won it with his satanic goatee. Love that look, by the way. I wouldn't mind that one too, but mostly the Peyton Manning one because that's early in my sports life. Aaron, could you think of any jerseys for yourself? If you had a $1.5 million, would you?
Yeah, I specifically jerseys. For me, I would probably want the Tom Brady jersey on 28-3, that Super Bowl.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that would be one I would want for sure. If talking about sports memorabilia in general, I would want, which I believe, I don't know if he still had it, but I know that. I'll preface it. I would want the ground ball to Keith Folk that he threw to Doug Mankiewicz to seal the Red Sox 2004 World Series title. The first one.
Wasn't that your top 5 sports moments?
It was my number 1 sports moment. But I would want that ball that that Edgar Renteria grounded back. Last I remember, Doug Mankiewicz put it in his back pocket. I don't know if he was either forced to give it up or if he sold it.
Oh.
But that's the piece of sports memorabilia that I would want if I had just unlimited funds like that.
Some of them might be cheaper. I don't know how much cheaper. If the Cubs winning the World Series, David Ross hit a home run late in that game to kind of put the nail in the coffin. Like they kept on trying to give that game away. But then I looked at it and I remember just that 40-year-old dude just smacking a home run. Oh, well, that was pretty cool. I wouldn't mind having that ball. But I'm sure that fan has kept that ball next to his own. The last one. Shut up.
Jeez, wow,
Sorry. Hey, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Your hometown, new hometown-ish, Golden Knights traded for the San Jose Sharks goalie Aiden Hill. This, of course, is to kind of replace Robin Lehner, who's going to have surgery that's going to end his season, which we've known about for quite some time. Do you like the pickup? And how you feeling about the Golden Knights? Does this move the needle for you any bit, or how are we feeling?
So this one's a head scratcher for me because, yes, I know Robin Lehner's going to miss the entire season. I thought Logan Thompson played pretty damn admirably in his absence, and I know Laurent Brossoit would assume the backup goalie position here. So it's a little bit of a head scratcher unless their plan is to really move Brossoit, but I actually thought that Logan Thompson would be the assumed starter now, and with trading for Aiden Hill, I still believe that's to be true. It seems a little less cloudy, or seems a little more cloudy to me right now at this point, with carrying 3 goalies that any one of them could be named starter by head coach Bruce Cassidy. I think it's still going to be Logan Thompson. Ultimately, they might move Bressois, but this move doesn't make a ton of sense to me because he's not, you know, a real replacement for Robin Leonard. He's not a starting goaltender. So
Wow.
to me, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. So I don't quite know if I understand it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens the next coming days before the season gets underway next month. So that's going to do it here for
Good job,
us.
by the way.
No, thanks. It's going to do it here for us on the AM Drive here on this Hump Day edition. Tomorrow is a Tony Johnson Thursday. I like that.
Yes.
We're going to talk to golf analyst and professional sports bettor Tony Johnson about a number of things. Live Golf and their departures of some of the more popular PGA Tour players. And, of course, that TGL that we can't seem to wrap our minds around. And, of course, the next 5 teams on our win totals, the Colts, Patriots, Dolphins, Jaguars, and apparently my new love, the Saints.
Woo!
Because of famous Jameis. But all that plus more on a Thursday edition of the AM Drive. Until then, make sure you're supporting the sponsors and the channel at mikeandaarondrive.com. You can see it right there. And, of course, the number one thing we want you to do in that is subscribe to the YouTube channel. So for Michael Carvelis, I am Aaron Crouch saying we are out. Have a wonderful day. And, of course, as always,
We can drive safe.